welcome to the Alpha Night Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle. I'm my co-host, Dan and Greg.
How you doing?
Hello. So, just nothing super big-wise, news-wise as far as...
Big-wise, news-wise?
Big-wise as far as news goes.
Big news, in other words?
Yes.
Shh. Oh, hey, did you see there's a Constantine 2 coming out?
Oh, God.
I hope not. The first one was fine.
I'm not lying.
The
There's
show
a Constantine 2.
I know.
Well, I mean, the movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is, the first one's fine. They don't need another one.
Yeah, the first one was
I know
fine.
technically they were looking for, like, the end. You could have had a sequel, but it's been 20 years nearly.
Well, they're getting...
So, speaking of old movies...
Getting him back for the second.
According to this, Scream 6's box offices reach a franchise milestone not seen since the hit Scream 2. So apparently Scream 6 did as well as Scream 2 did.
What the heck's the milestone?
I have no idea. I just looked up random news. Let's find out.
I would imagine that because it brought back all the original cast. So
Yeah.
I'm imagining that everyone wants to go back and kind of like a nostalgia thing.
It earned $44 million. That's their milestone. It's $44 million.
On what, opening weekend or what?
Yeah.
Did you read the whole thing?
I'm going through it right now. I just what is
probably $44 million opening weekend.
Yeah.
Did you read this before you came?
No, I was looking up stuff right now.
I like how he's laughing about the $44 million and it's the opening weekend.
No, but we're so used to reading everything like the other movies we watch. 100 million on opening weekend. And
those are like the big. That was way back when the Marvel movies were big, and
that's true. But apparently, it's
anything now is normal, right around 50, because it stays around 50 now because. I know people that love movies like we do, but they don't go to the theaters anymore. They wait to stream it
or download it.
Yeah, right. They don't go to theaters anymore.
The fact that it took 6 to hit the same rank as 2, what does that tell you? 3 through 5 sucked.
I never watched them past 2.
I watched 3.
I didn't.
I watched the first Scream. But I never liked that movie anyway.
I didn't like them either. I watched the first 2, and
it's
I was I thought that the Scary Movie 2 was the best one of them all.
The best Scream movie was Scary Movie 2.
The best Scream movie was Scary Movie 1.
Yeah. Oh,
I like Scary Movie. It's when they get into the whole superhero movie stuff that get kind of ridiculous.
Well, it was after 3. 3 is when
I mean all the other spoof movies they did.
That became the new
superhero movie.
Yeah, right.
The Daz Aster movie.
Well, they kind of wanted to ride off the coattails of Scary Movie.
Right? Yeah. There's only one I feel like did remotely as well as that was not another teen movie. That was a good movie. I like that one.
Is that one with Chris Evans with
with
the whipped cream on his nipples?
Yep.
Yes.
That was
and the banana in his butt.
And the hedge clippers on the...
Yeah. Like the part where he's singing Janie's Got a Gun.
And everyone
starts freaking out.
She's got a gun, get her!
How about the part where he's going through the hallway and looks at a picture of himself? And then there's another picture of him looking at himself.
Right. There was so many good...
It's almost like the Nicolas Cage movie. It was all about him.
There was just so many good nuances in that movie.
That was a good movie.
Disney confirms Indiana Jones 5 will be the end of Harrison Ford's lead.
Well, he's going to be a skeleton by the next time.
I was going to say, I don't even know if he'll be alive for the next one.
Yeah, well, that's just what they said.
He's going to be.
So what are they doing with Shia LaBeouf's character? Are they just writing him off?
He's dead.
Is he just gone now?
I think,
or did he just never happen?
I think what they're doing is making 5 happen before 1. I mean, before 4 or after 4, and just they ignored 4, like 4 never happened.
That's what I mean. Are they just acting like 4 never happened?
Yeah, it's kind of like the last two Star Wars movies.
It was just one of
the third one never acknowledged the second one at all.
It was just one of Indy's dreams.
We don't want to get into Star Wars again. Stop mentioning Star Wars, okay? It's like me and the whole Thor thing.
Well, I guess
we're comic books.
Well, I guess too bad because we're going to talk about the Mandalorian.
Well, that's not. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the movies.
Okay, fair enough.
Force Awakens was fine, and then they went off base for the second one, and then the third one was whatever. I don't know what that was.
Exact opposite.
The third one totally ignored number 2.
Well,
Yeah.
Totally ignored it.
Number 2 ignored number 1, then number 3 ignored number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, just totally
Because
ignored
number
everything.
1 was essentially a remake of Star Wars.
Well, yeah, right.
Right.
The
And they had a
member
good,
berries,
and that was a
member.
good solid base. Now it wasn't that original, but obviously
It was good jumping
but
off.
then,
Yeah, right.
but then they went the opposite way.
Number 2 was a crappy Ocean's 11.
Well, it started out with a nonsensical bombing run that didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And then the Empire, who've dealt with the rebels forever, didn't think of any tricks. Really? A lone starfighter. There can't be another guy behind him. Really? Just blow him out of the sky.
Yeah.
You have a lot of guns. Shoot him. He'll die. It's fine.
And
That was the dumbest beginning in the world.
And then 3 ignored 2.
Where?
That was
And then
the-
there's
well, that was-
superhero Leia.
they thought-
that was my killer.
Oh, Leia, the most powerful Jedi ever.
Even though she's just standing around being there, that's what she does in all the movies now. She just stands there.
It was totally dumb.
They go, "Where's the meditation? Where's the training? There's nothing."
No, she's like, oh, I'm in space.
To be fair,
Saved myself.
Never really showed it before.
to be fair, Rey knew all the mind tricks without any practice.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
She somehow
It took
resisted.
Luke Skywalker 3 movies to be able to use a lightsaber, but she could like mind control a guard in the first movie.
lightsaber.
It's true.
And then in the
I
first,
know.
and then in the
I
first
know.
movie, obviously, lightsabers can't kill a guy when he gets hit in the back by one.
Yeah, but then the first 3 movies,
The
it
black-
touches anything.
whatever it
It
is.
slices through everything.
What's his name? The black kid guy.
Finn?
Yeah, Finn.
He
took that right to the spine.
right to the spine, and he's not dead.
Or cut in half.
It's like the fungo bat of freaking lightsabers.
And it looked like it bounced off his spine. So I was like, what's his spine?
They should have made one of those wiffle ball bat noises. The big orange ones. the big orange ones when you hit something hard, it goes boom.
Because like Kylo Ren's character was awesome in the beginning. He stopped the laser bolt, all that
With
stuff.
his bare-
And then he can't use a lightsaber worth anything.
Yeah, right.
With someone who doesn't even know what she's doing.
And he almost lost a fight
And
to
also,
Finn.
yeah, and Finn was holding his own against supposed Jedi Master.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
And he has no force powers, and somehow he was.
And then there's the whole freaking what is it? Stormtrooper Tonfa thing? Come here.
Traitor!
How does he know he's a stormtrooper in the first place?
So their biggest mistake was Disney. For each movie, Disney wanted a different director for whatever reason.
Member?
They wanted a different. Yeah, did you hear me say member berries?
Remember.
That's what it was. South Park made so much
Awakens
fun
us.
of it, but it was real. It was true. Their biggest mistake was getting 3 different directors. They should have picked one director,
Right.
stuck with them, and let them carry the whole.
Because even
3
the
movies.
first one had issues with.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, they all had their
my
issues.
problem is that it was talking down to the audience. Like,
Yeah.
lightsabers aren't deadly anymore.
Right.
Force powers require no effort,
Yeah.
especially if you're a woman. Leia and Rey have superpowers for no reason.
Well, there's a reason, but it's just.
Now, Leia, I can
It's
get.
poorly explained.
Yeah, right. It's
They're just
very
better.
poorly explained.
No, Rey doesn't have any reason.
Hers is. She's had no training, except for she walked around with a staff on her.
What training does Leia have?
She was training with Luke.
Oh, well, yeah, that's
Because
true.
they could have justified Leia's stuff better by like having like a short thing. where
Yeah,
her and
like
Luke
a
are-
little skit. Yeah,
Well, they
right,
did.
right.
In the last one, they went
In
over.
the last one, but
They
not
went-
the one when she had the superpowers.
Yeah.
Well, they had to cover that now.
Yeah, that's
'cause they,
why
were
they
like,
had to
they were
cover
like,
it.
well, this dummy put this in there. We got to
Yeah,
cover
they're
it.
like, why did Leia stop being if she's that powerful, why'd she stop being in there? And they're like, oh, because she foresaw her death. So she wanted to save Kylo Ren by not being a Jedi. I was like, well, if she was a Jedi, she probably could have
Stop
handled
him
it.
from
Yeah, right.
from like
Especially
I don't
if she's
know,
the most powerful.
shoving a lightsaber through his father's body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
And on top of
They
it,
should have picked one director and stuck with him.
yeah.
that's why I really like the how it should have ended for the Force Awakens. Because at the end, when Kylo was supposed to kill Harrison Ford,
Oh, yeah.
Luke goes surprise. And like
Stabs him.
stabs him right in the freaking torso.
Told you were bad.
He's supposed to be the most powerful Jedi in the universe. He should know everything.
Yeah.
Whatever. But I'm sitting around and we have a extraneous space cow milk scene. In the second one, it was unnecessary.
I don't know.
I think my whole favorite scene from the second one is
what I couldn't get past the freaking non-gravity well bombing run.
Because that's how space works.
With the Asian lady who's like desperately trying to hit the thing, even though there's no gravity, so there's no reason why the bomb should go down.
Yeah, that.
And there wasn't any propulsion on them either, so
they just dropped.
Because what should have happened was
they're just floating around.
They dropped straight down like a regular bombing run.
They could have just took them with their hands and went.
What should have happened?
Throw them, push them in the direction.
What should have happened was they let them go and they just float there.
Yeah, right.
Inside the hole.
Yeah,
because there wasn't any propulsion on it, so they weren't going in a direction. So that's what killed me.
That's where Dan ended it. It's done.
You could just give me a fake explanation, I'd take it. But there was no explanation.
Man.
Okay, we're done. It's over.
So my favorite from the second one of those three was only the Yoda scene. Like, that was the only scene I even really liked.
What, Yoda Thor?
Yeah. Yoda, God of Thunder.
Thunder.
I liked it because it served the main purpose that Luke never got the concept of, is the concept of being a master is to make them better than you.
What's the point in everything?
That's the point of being a teacher in anything.
That's what I mean. That's
to make the next generation better.
Yeah, right. When I teach something at work, my goal is to get you to
be better
than me at it. That way you don't have to rely on me.
That whole thing with Kylo Ren kills me with Luke. I'm like, he brought a Sith Lord back from the dark side, but he can't stick with his nephew. Really?
That's true.
His
he
dad
just gave up and tried to gank the kid right away. Immediately.
Like,
he didn't even wait for it to develop. He just kind of like, I'm gonna kill this child because
I saved my dad who killed millions of people by himself.
Right.
Oh man.
So that kills me.
That was inconsistent.
But considering I've read all the Star Wars books,
that's true. You have.
I know everything about it. So
nerd.
Yeah.
Nerd.
So there's that. The other tagline that I might read out later is James Gunn possibility, Marvel and DC crossover. Now he's at DC as well.
He's going to DC now.
He's doing both. He's
he's done with Marvel from what I read.
Yeah.
Is this
so they start
the
trying to hand
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is his last Marvel movie.
Yeah, we'll see until they start handing paychecks because they need more money. The overlord Disney.
He made
Marvel's like tripping.
They asked him about
as in stumbling.
They asked him about why they thought the Marvel movies weren't doing as well, and he said that he thinks since the blip and Avengers, he says that the storylines got all messed up since the blip, and he's like, I don't think people like it. He's like,
because they're trying to retcon and put everything.
Well, number one, the blip was an excuse to push, like in the comics,
right?
They've sex changed numerous characters for literally no reason.
Yeah.
Or changed their sexuality out of the blue.
But he's just saying that the blip, he thinks.
Well,
he thinks the blip ruined Marvel.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because the blip was an excuse to change all that stuff.
Right.
And then they did the multiverse thing, which is another excuse.
Right.
But that's not a good reason to have something. Because everything in the first couple phases of Marvel, it was organically, there's a storyline. There's a history.
Oh, yeah, right.
So, like, Tony Stark was the, genius guy. And then...
Who went through a horrible accident, had to put a magnet to save himself.
So they had a whole story and a backstory behind it.
Yeah.
But then, other than Spider-Man, there's nobody who has a story.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
Yep.
Because that's true. They just jump right into them.
Like, there are some shows that are okay, like Moon Knight's whatever.
I liked Moon Knight, yeah.
And Moon Knight gave enough of backstory to be fine.
It wasn't like... I can't think of an example right now.
Like, Moon Knight was good. Wasp and Ant-Man was not good.
Well, that's not Wasp's character. The characters weren't the problem. It was the story.
Well, Ant-Man has the background. So if you know
when he told me about the Quantumania movie, basically
it's the other stuff that's not the background you don't get. Like you have Ant-Man's background from the first movie.
Yes, but what I'm saying is even how they did him is they skipped a generation. Scott Lang was like the second Ant-Man, where they kind of through the Ant-Man, the first Ant-Man movie, the Ant-Man Wasp movie, they kind of talked about him. Oh my gosh, I can't.
Hank Pym.
Hank Pym, yeah, Hank Pym being the original Ant-Man.
Oh, I know he was.
But what I'm saying is, like, they kind of skipped the first generation to go right into the second generation, where you could have went into the first generation. But I understand why they did it, because they didn't want to. They wanted to hurry up and get it so for the Avengers and stuff.
Right, because they'd have to have a lot of Ant-Man movies then.
They'd have to get one or two. They'd have to get one or two Ant-Man movies
just to reach
up to.
Yeah, right.
Well, he's not as popular as some other guys.
Yeah, so that's why I have issues with it, because they're just now trying to shovel people in there.
What Kyle told me about the Quantumania movie, though, the primary problem is that it was an artificial crisis for no reason.
Well, yeah, it should have never happened. Yeah,
so because like the wife should have just told him all about this stuff.
Yeah, correct.
Even if she was traumatized.
Because what I said to him when he told me, I didn't watch it, but he told me about it. Basically, I'm like, she could have told him about this stuff, and they could have went in and knew all about it. Well, and then there could have been a different conflict that could have happened instead of
Yeah, like hey, remember I said there was somebody down there? It looks like he's trying to escape. We should go to stop him.
Right, something like that.
Well, when he told me, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't she just say? He's like, yeah, I know, I don't know.
That's what I was confused about. It didn't make sense from the standpoint of, especially when, and everyone's like, oh well, it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe is supposed to be a different universe and different rules apply, so they're not the same as their comic counterparts. That's fine.
But that has nothing to do with
the common sense, the rules of common sense.
Right.
Hey, I was lost in this universe. Hey, there's a crazy guy.
I'm not going to tell you anything about it.
There's a crazy time emperor locked in the miniverse. Now that you got me out, maybe we shouldn't mess with it, just in case. Like,
I know he told me. He told me, and I was like, well, that makes no sense. He's like, no, I know.
like, yeah. When you say there's after your husband and daughter literally went in there twice each and came out just fine. What made you think, as scientists, they weren't going to keep exploring it? Because now they had a theory. Right. They tested it twice. Right. It's worked out twice.
Because the Marvel's problems mostly is their plot lines are nonsensical. Yeah. This is not good movies. It has nothing to do with...
Yeah, that's true.
There's no through line that makes any sense. Because, like, She-Hulk's problem, for example, was it's too jokey, and there wasn't any real character development. Other than her slight realization that she has emotional issues.
Yeah.
It was entertaining, but it was very shallow.
I didn't mind She-Hulk.
It was, like I said, I liked it too.
No, and I get what he's saying.
But it's a little shallow.
It was good, but there's that
more background build up to the character.
Yeah, we want something a little more serious because they started out half the episodes of like
it was too much
them
like
trying to get her
city in it.
Yeah, they were trying to get her blood. They were kind of trying to set up something more serious to go to the last episode and do what they did.
Because like instead of having like a sincere conversation about something, there was always some joke about the abomination or the way she transforms or
Mr. Immortal can't commit.
Like I said, it's vaguely like Sex and the City in the sense it's her from her point of view, and she's always talking about random other stuff.
Right. Yeah. Fair enough.
Which is fine, but Sex and the City already happened.
Yeah.
A bunch of times.
And they had a movie.
2.
Ugh.
At least 2.
But as I was saying, like Quantumania, as we're talking about why that didn't work, is also the one thing I hate more than anything is the sympathetic villain. They took a really good villain the first time, the guy who was the Yellow Jacket in the first movie, and made him MODOK. He became MODOK.
Well, I saw pictures.
Which was fine.
It's terrifyingly bad.
It's awesome. But he was fine. He was fine as MODOK the way it was. But then they tried to make him sympathetic by the one person calling him a name. And he's like, I don't want to be a douche.
He actually used the word douche?
It was different. It was a different word, but
same thing.
It technically wouldn't pass the FCB or whatever we're under.
Our standards.
Yeah, our standards. So he's like, you don't need to be a douche. And then he's like, I'm not a douche. And then he attacked Kang for no reason. No reason. He's like, I'm not a douche. And just started attacking Kang and then tried to redeem himself for no reason.
That's not me and Kyle talked about this too. MODOK doesn't work like that. He might be created by a villain, but he's trying to escape from him. So the reason why he attacked Kang is because he doesn't like Kang because he's enslaving him, basically. That's why he attacked him. It has nothing to do with redemption. They made it about redemption. Like I said, he's a murderous bastard. That's what MODOK means.
Well, anyways, I'm just saying.
Bastard isn't a bad word.
Oh yeah, it did get downgraded.
Bastard means an illegitimate child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
no one knows who your father is.
Wow.
No,
it's true. Actually,
wow.
By definition,
wow. I'm gonna run you over with my car.
Anyways, that's what,
coming out the gate strong, Dan.
That's what he said. Thinks ruined the Marvel universe. He said he thinks the blip ruined it.
Yeah. Well, even when in the comic books, every time they have a big cosmic event like that, it always, for a long time, ruins the Marvel universe. And then they slowly start to build things back up, and things start going good again. And they're like, "Oh, our comic books are not selling as much as we want. Better start another event."
Right. But yeah. So, anyways, that's what he said. He thinks ruined Marvel, and he's going to DC.
I think see where it's coming from.
He's doing the new Superman.
Yeah. Did we get a confirmation who's going to be Superman?
No, I have not heard yet who's going to be Superman.
The Rock.
The Rock.
He can be two things at once. How about name a bald black actor? I don't care which one. I thought he was going to be black. Isn't that true?
Oh, they were talking about getting Michael B. Jordan to be Superman for a while.
But not anymore.
I don't know if they're still...
That's really dumb. But unless you want to do a multiverse thing again.
That's what they're going to do.
That's really bad.
That's why...
Almost half... no one likes that concept.
What?
The regular Superman's fine.
Yeah. Get Christopher Reeves out here. Get him some stem cells.
Is he dead? Yes, he's been dead for 20 years, man.
Crack open some stem cells. It'll be all right.
He died soon after that episode, actually. Not
See... So,
where he's sucking the spines out.
That's a great episode, though.
That is a great episode.
Cracking old baby.
Just cracking the spine and sucking it out.
like a... And everyone's just watching it with no...
The visual's nice, but that's not the way that would work. But anyway.
Well, no, we obviously know that's not how it would work.
They're not even a baby now.
No, they're just little cells. That's why it's called stem cells.
But it was funny.
But it's still funny. It's still funny. Anyways, is that it for our news?
As far
we
as
went into like a half-hour tangent on our news.
Yeah, especially on Star Wars and hating how they. Oh, there's one more part of Star Wars. They were talking about it with Boba Fett. When they did the Boba Fett show, they started remaking toys.
Yeah,
they changed his name of his ship.
Oh yeah, I already told you that.
Yeah, I was gonna say you told me that.
Why?
Because what his ship was named originally. His ship was originally named Slave One.
Yeah, so what?
People are
that's what he does is capture people and slave them oftentimes. So it's accurate.
Mm-hmm.
He's a ruthless bounty hunter. That's why he's cool.
So stupid.
So
now it's fire spray class, whatever.
Yeah, right.
Patrol craft. That's the model of it anyway.
So
anyway.
Let's go with movies we've watched. Me and Greg watched the Super Mario Brothers movie
yesterday.
Yes, it was pretty decent.
It's decent. Well, we had this talk. Well, we both agreed that it moves fast.
Like they add some plot points of like Donkey Kong having issues, but they never really go over it. They never address it. They just kind of say he's got issues with some things.
Was he institutionalized due to a nervous breakdown?
No, he's like, Mario said, why don't you go over and smash things? He's like, I'm not just a guy who smashes stuff. And then that's where they left it.
Yeah, they didn't go into
like he was like, I want my dad to be proud of me.
And then he started smashing stuff.
Yeah, that's
It was a good movie. It was a good homage to like all the games. Like
yeah, it
definitely gave you.
It was just a nice kids movie. It was that's exactly what it was.
It gave you like a really good like it touches on every game from Donkey Kong to Super Mario Kart to the first Mario with the levels and everything. It touches on all the Marios.
Yep. All the way up till well, it even touched on some of the newer Marios too.
Yeah, right. So
the only ones it didn't touch on were like Sunshine, and that's about it. Like they touched into Galaxy because they were making mention of it, and the little chaotic star thing. Yeah, the one that's from Mario Galaxy. So we might get a sequel. Now, did you watch the Sonic one by chance? The Sonic movie?
Yes, I've watched both of them.
Yeah. In your opinion, what holds stronger, the Sonic movies or the Mario movie? Like, we'll go just one first.
Which would I choose?
Like, as a stronger movie, which one would you say was a stronger movie?
I haven't seen them, but every time I think of Sonic now, I think of that weird game where he was like making love to an anime lady.
Oh yeah, that's Sonic 2006.
Oh my gosh, I forgot all about that
amazing game.
It's so bad. It's bad. It's still bad.
If I had to, I think they're actually pretty close, but I would choose Sonic over Mario.
I would too.
Only because I like Jim Carrey. I thought he played Dr. Robotnik pretty good.
I also liked Sonic a little more because it was a little more in depth, a little more deeper of a story. Like it gave characters more purpose than just being
there was a whole background to it. Yeah, there's a story they told, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
there's a story in Mario. It's just not as in depth as
it's just
Sonic's
very
is.
Surface.
Yeah, right. But I would go with the Sonic.
Chris Pratt did a good job.
It wasn't a bad job. I'm glad they didn't do the hour and a half of the "It's a me, Mario."
Now I could definitely do
like they do it, but they do it as in like
a satirical.
Yeah, right. They joke about it.
Like it was their commercial for their plumbing business. Remember the old '90s TV show? Remember the old '80s TV show with it? Where they had the Mario rap. They used that as like the opener, and they taught it was a commercial for their plumbing business the whole time.
Yeah, and that's where they do their voices and stuff. And like people kind of pick on them for doing the voices. It's kind of funny.
What else did they go into?
The only thing I didn't like, I mean, it moves fast and everything, and like you said, there's not a lot of backstory, but behind
not a lot of story depth.
I didn't like the reason Bowser was on his tangent. I didn't really like that. He was in love with Peach and wanted to marry her.
So, in Mario Odyssey,
like Bowser's somehow not a bad guy now.
He's a bad guy, but he's a bad guy for love.
Yeah, right.
What?
So he's a bad guy who rules over his.
Because I'm going to kidnap this lady because I love her.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's pretty much what it is. Yeah. He gets the you remember the star in the game where you were like invincible.
Well, I'm not questioning it. I'm just saying.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, do you remember in the game that one star you're like invincible once you get it? Yeah. He steals that. And that's his ploy to like tell her that they'll rule the universe together, and
does Peach give any indication that she's power hungry?
No, at all, none at all.
None. What is this about?
Well, even it's kind of funny though because like people who know the game, like we were all watching. When I was watching it, at least I wasn't sitting next to Kyle, but I was kind of like this is kind of a dumb reason. And like when he tells her, it's kind of funny because she like gets that look on her face. She's like, "What?"
Yeah. So
where did this idea from?
Where they got that plot line from is from two different games. One was Super Mario Sunshine, and the other one was from.
Was there an evil clone of Peach who was like out to rule the universe?
No. The whole Bowser being in love with her thing was Super Mario Sunshine and Odyssey, which is the newer one for the Switch. For some reason, he was going to marry her in the Switch version. Like he was just trying to get married to her. It was weird.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was. I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying that's weird. And in Sunshine, Bowser Jr. shows up, and Bowser told Bowser Jr. that Peach was his mom. That's why he keeps kidnapping her so she can be a parrot. It's so weird.
So the kid is really dumb.
Yeah,
because he believes all that.
That this 5 foot tall, willowy white lady gave birth to a giant fire breathing turtle, with having a relationship with a 9 foot tall fire breathing turtle.
Right. I don't know. Like I said, it was the only thing in the movie that I really
He's more like a lizard.
I
turtle.
really
But whatever.
that I really didn't like.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it moves fast and there's not a lot of backstory for some of the characters, but that one kind of was like odd
Weird.
to me.
Yeah.
I'm not questioning.
It was weird.
I think it would be funny if they made Peach power hungry, like
For no reason.
conqueror for no reason. That would make more sense.
But that was his ploy to get her to marry him, and I did like the throwback. It used all the music in the games.
Yeah.
Like it was a good throwback.
Yeah, it was a very good time. Now, the parts I hated about this movie were the really reliant of Mario jumping over something, doing a flip, and mid-flip, it does to a slow-mo and goes, Mamma Mia!
Yeah, he does
it
it.
happened at least 12 times.
I don't think it's not 12 times. It's like 3 or 4. You're
No,
grossly overstating that.
I'm guaranteeing we'll rewatch it and see. We'll do a count.
Watch it. We'll count.
Because I know the last battle there was at least 4.
No.
Yes, his dad did it. Mario did it. Luigi did it. And I think he did it right before the bullet bill hit the tunnel. So there's 4 right there. Then he did it. He did it when he fought Donkey Kong. Like the reliance of him doing everything.
I said there was like 4 or 5. I said there was like 3 or 4. You got 4.
I'm on 5. We'll do a number.
Okay.
But I'm just it was getting obnoxious, and then you could tell they were also relying on some of James Gunn's directing methods, where they started pulling out really classic songs.
Yeah, I like that though.
I do too. Like, and this
I don't want to hear I don't want to hear like a new Rihanna song.
No, I don't either, because they're just terrible. But that's, for the Alpha Nerd music podcast someday. We ever branch out.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Rihanna sucks.
Don't get me wrong. I think some of her music is good, but Mario's an older game.
Yes.
So I would rather hear the older.
What I'm saying is, like, some movies
music.
have handled it really badly. This is actually one that handled it pretty good. The Thor movie handled it super badly.
Which Thor movie?
The Love and Thunder.
Not Love and Thunder.
Oh,
Handled it-
I have successfully avoided that movie.
Yeah. Till over the summer, I hold him down. Watch it.
I saw the part with Zeus. Like,
It'll be like
I saw the part with Fat Zeus and Thor talking about stuff.
It'll be like a Clockwork Orange. We'll stick those things in your eyeballs, and we'll strap you to a chair.
Watch it.
And I'll just slightly put.
It'll induce nausea on its own.
Oh, speaking of which, they're going to remake it. A Clockwork Orange.
They should.
They shouldn't.
I agree with you guys for a different reason. I think it sucks. I thought a Clockwork Orange movie was garbage.
Well, I thought it was decent just because it was fairly realistic and.
My other thing is, Greg, I don't think you really like art housey, those kinds of movies. I don't think you ever really liked those kind of movies.
It was basically an exploration of whether or not
I don't know.
mental health.
I don't think any time we've made you watch an independent or a art house, you've really you've been okay with them, but you haven't been like, oh my god, this is amazing.
No, I don't know.
Well,
I thought it was
what they
garbage.
do. If they do a remake, they have to have an entirely different reason for the movie to exist. Because
how would they even do it?
Because the reason why the original one was there.
Because I don't think.
But you know what I mean. How are they even going to?
Because
there's no way.
Because the original one was essentially an exploration of how far the state should go and
and depravity
and dealing with bad behavior. Basically,
Well,
so they basically tried to.
How do they rehabilitate people?
They conditioned him to a certain degree,
Yeah.
but then it didn't. It made it worse, kind of. For him. Well, he did freaking make a guy have a stroke in the beginning, so
But I mean, how do you do it though? You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of very explicit
and here's the thing
scenes
with
in that.
how people are very
I find it hilarious.
sensitive.
In today's age, they can't do it.
I find it hilarious that you can't do that stuff in a mainstream movie, but so much pornography is on the internet that you just can find anything.
Yes,
it's that sort of dichotomy is hilarious.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
You can't make a Clockwork Orange or Blazing Saddles, but you can have name a thing.
OnlyFans that anybody can get access to.
Right.
So I agree with both of you. I think they should be able to make it, but they won't.
They can't.
Yeah,
Well, they can. It just won't be as impactful.
There will be so many
cutouts because
not cutouts. There will be so many.
They're not going to have elderly person abuse. They're not going to have kidnapping. They're not going to have breaking and entering.
They're not going
and
to have the
torture.
assault.
Because that's the main point of the whole movie is the beginning part where they're joyriding. Then they go randomly break into some guy's house.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to do it the way it needs to be done because of how sensitive people are. Like, well, we don't want to watch a movie that makes us feel bad. I was like, that's the point of a horror movie. That's the point of a depressing, suspenseful movie. Is it's supposed to make you feel bad, to make you think on that, like, to help you realize.
Didn't like it because it was amateurish seeming to you? Is that what it is? Because this does seem amateurish.
It does. It's just.
Or you just don't like the style?
I just think it's dumb.
It's pretentious.
Yeah, I just think it's dumb. It's not. It's. I guess the style. I would say, like, I understand. I understand this. I understand the storyline behind it. I get you're trying to rehabilitate a prisoner, and they're trying to prove it.
I like the ideas behind the concept, not necessarily like the movie itself.
I think maybe
if you know what I mean.
If you were around when it first came out, like you were alive and watching movies, I think maybe you might have a higher opinion of it because at the time it was a good.
The first 20 minutes.
Did that change your opinion of it?
What?
Were you alive and around during it?
No.
Oh, then why?
But
why didn't that change your
older
opinion
movies
of it?
though. I like older. I like
older movies too.
But I'm talking about like black and white and like
those.
I've never seen you watch black and
Kyle
white.
just likes that movie because he wish he could pull off Paisley slacks.
Yes, that's exactly it. My jealousy of not being able to pull off Paisley slacks.
1970s fashion. Oh boy.
We have Renfeld coming up. I'm going to watch that.
Renfeld, yeah.
Me and Dan are going to go watch D&D over the weekend.
I heard it's doing good.
Yeah.
I heard it's doing really good. Actually, there's a lot of big name actors, and I didn't realize we're in that.
Yeah. There's quite a few.
I heard some names, and I was like, wow.
Oh, there's a show that I would like
in.
all three of us to watch just because, and it's a show you would never expect me to say I want to watch. It's called Nightmare Alley.
Why would I never expect you to watch?
Because it's like a crimey.
Well, you like horror movies and
No,
stuff.
it's not a horror movie. It's like a crime show.
Because I traumatized him by vaguely watching a French procedural drama on Netflix, and he can't watch them anymore. Yeah, I was watching one where like
oh, it was so
the
gross.
son.
I hated it.
It was like the son of a serial killer, a female serial killer.
Oh, sorry, it's a movie. Nightmare Alley. I thought it was a show. My bad.
He was wrong.
I was. But it's not a horror movie. It's a suspense, like
Okay.
it's a criminal show.
Yeah, all right.
It's I usually don't watch those kind of things with you guys.
No.
So this one looked I like the cast. I think the cast is really
Let me see.
like
I've seen this.
Bradley Cooper,
Yep.
Kate Blanchett,
Yep.
William Dafoe.
Oh, Willem Dafoe. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, Ron Perlman.
Oh, it is a good cast. David Strathairn.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Like it's a really
I hope
and
Bradley.
Jack Nicholson's in it. I think somewhere too,
I
in a
hope,
real
I
small
hope
part.
Bradley Cooper dies in the end.
Because there was a dude that looked exactly.
Bradley Cooper dies in the end.
And
I always like it. I don't like him being the hero of anything. He's just too smirky for me. Bothers me.
I mean,
It's like Alec Baldwin.
he's not really a hero in a lot. I mean, Shooter. And he dies in the end of or not Shooter.
I say Shooter
American
was.
Sniper.
I say Shooter was.
Well,
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. Old
American
Marky
Sniper,
Wahlberg.
Of course,
He's
that was a
in-
biopic. He
Well, yeah,
was
right.
shot by a Marine. And
You see how big he got jacked for that movie, dude.
man, it was-
I mean, other than that, I mean, Silver
I'm saying he's a bad actor.
Silver Linings Playbook. I'm just trying to think of a
I
movie where
just
he's a
don't
hero
like.
at the
I just
end.
don't like his face.
I just don't
Like
like
his
your
face.
face.
There's nothing to do
That's
with
been
it.
a lot of Dan's criticisms. Like that's why I didn't watch Carnival Row. I don't like the chick's face. I hate her.
No, I just don't like her. She's bad. actress.
Speaking of which, we're gonna get into that today.
Yeah,
too?
yeah, we're gonna get into that. We'll go into that next. But yes, I think we should watch this movie at some point. So in May, when we
I'll
all
watch it.
we can all get together a lot easier.
Well,
do
I might
that.
be in Florida in May,
like
depending on the week. No, not all of May, but no.
yeah, but after my events change, then
Oh yeah, right.
yeah. So we finished Carnival Row season 2.
Did you watch any of it?
Absolutely not.
Well, you said you might, so I didn't know if you.
I lied.
Well, at least you're honest.
I lied.
I'm honest about my lying.
I'm a liar, but I'm an honest liar.
No, I did think about it, but then I was like, no. It's too much work.
Sitting there staring at something.
So season 2 came out, was like 3 years after the first one, right?
Yeah. Because we watched the first one in 2018.
2019.
I thought we had this before.
We did have this discussion. It's 2019.
Swear it's 20. But yes, as I'm looking that up, we watched the first season before COVID.
Yep.
Then COVID happened.
Yep.
And then 3 years later, we got season 2.
3 years, we got season 2.
We watched the whole thing. It was.
There's another reason why I would probably dislike this show. It's technically steampunk.
It does fall under steampunk.
I guess, but
I dislike
the way steampunk works is like any situation where it's like
vaguely 19th century.
Yeah,
with
like mystical anything. So yes,
vaguely Victorian era stuff.
Yeah, it is, but
I know it's not like Steam Boy or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's not
yeah.
quite that,
right?
But still.
2019, you're right.
Yeah, okay, that's what
Shut
I
up.
thought.
I was just making sure. I thought
we had this conversation before.
Yes, we did. I just couldn't remember the context of it. So,
anyways, let's get into season 2. So season 2 starts off with
a raid on that train. Remember?
Is it the second episode then, where it's at the boat with?
It's second or third episode. It was really. The pacing of this season was a lot different than the first season.
So anyway, okay, we can go with the rating of the train. That's fine.
Yeah, because that's where it kind of starts. Because then it goes into where they're trying to get the medicine, and she was thinking about joining the Black Ravens, but not yet.
Well, you can't join them until they ask you to join.
Yeah, but I'm saying she was going on raids with them to prove herself to them. It started out very, very different. It feels like there was a very lurch in storyline wise, because it was originally like I was hoping to just take place right after they get locked in the section of city, but it was already a couple months after all that, where Philo is already trying to be a police officer again,
right? After
denying.
Well, they already have their house and everything.
Yeah, but he already denied the humans in the first one. That's why he locked himself in there.
Right.
And then he's trying to re-get on the good side of the humans. It just started going back to Philo recycling about who he is.
Yeah, then that's pretty much his whole character throughout the whole.
Yeah, him just cycling back and forth.
Yeah. He can't figure out who he wants to be. He doesn't figure out if he wants to be a.
Yeah, he's trying not to try and take sides.
Yeah. So, anyways, vignette raids the train, comes back with medicine. You
find out all the pigs are dying from a disease.
Yeah. That they kind of allude that humans.
They caused it because they put all those nets where they can't fly, so they were getting sick because they couldn't fly and be in the open air, and it was weird.
So then we get to Imogen and Agreus.
Oh, that was the best storyline.
Where they're on the boat.
They're sailing.
They're trying to sail away.
They're having like a happy honeymoon thing.
Right. And then they get caught.
They get pulled over. He's like, "Oh, we don't have nothing to worry about. I already know this country. I have standing there."
Well, they were heading there anyways because they were
exploring.
He knew people there. And everything.
Yeah, he was, but he had dealings there, so he thought his money would save him.
Right.
And then you found out with that there was a revolution
by the New Dawn.
Yeah, New Dawn, which are a new version of, I would say, the SS.
Kind of, but not kind of.
It'd be more communist Russia.
It's communism, but not.
Are these fake countries or the real countries?
They're fake countries.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
It's communism, but it's not to the extreme of like Germany.
Yeah, it was.
Germany wasn't communist.
Fascist, yeah.
East fascist. Germany was communist.
Yeah, it was more communist than fascist. That's what we're going for. Because it was everyone working for everybody else. They were all working together to bring down the social status, and everyone was equal. So
that's more of what Russia went for, but it didn't work out.
No political ideal works out, no matter how good of an idea it might be.
But
that's a whole nother thing.
Well, it doesn't work out.
We don't want to get into political theory.
Yeah, we're not getting political theory.
So Anyways, they get caught. They're brought in there, and they both kind of like resisted at first. And then, like, that's the one thing I didn't like about Imogen is she seems like she was so manipulative or
malleable.
Yeah,
she is
right.
malleable, easily manipulated.
Yeah, right.
Because she was.
You're right.
But then she quickly understood that she was being... But then she also quickly figured out she was being manipulated real quick, too. He's like, you're being manipulated. He's like, you're right.
Yeah,
I'm like, what is with this chick?
But then she turned on the wrong person.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
She kept turning on everybody.
Well, she turned on him.
Yeah, she turned on him because he said, yo, we can't do this. You got to stop. And she's like, you can't control me.
I know when people try to control me, and he's like looking at her like,
what are you doing?
He's like, we're trying to escape. Shut up.
Yeah, you're not thinking. I'm telling you right now, you're not thinking because you literally just murdered your brother.
That was a good part. I did like that part.
So that was a through line there dealing with the New Dawn.
I think so. Listen, I think if they take that whole part out, if they take the whole New Dawn out,
yeah, and set it up for
it's
like
a better series.
Yes, it would have been a much more clean run through of a series
because it would have been all about
the political
the Scaris.
Well, the Scaris could have been saved to the very end, and then
of the last few episodes, yeah,
and then brought in to help spark the New Dawn stuff.
If they would have just got rid of the New Dawn
and saved it for like season 3,
yeah, right, it would have been a way better season.
Because then you could have just had it been about all the political unfairness. You know, the start of it, which was a lot of the political unfairness. Now all the Fae were trapped on a refugee camp,
right?
And then you could have said that the pact fell, and that all could have been just kind of set about.
Yeah,
just a little bit, like hit on, just a little tiny bit, and just left to go.
And that could have set up the third season. For a third season. I don't think there's going to be a third season.
No, there's not. They've already said. They were just going back and forth with too many. They were trying to juggle too many balls.
Yeah, I just think if they had took that out, it'd been a way better. I actually did like the series. I didn't like it as much as I did season 1.
Yeah,
but I think if they took that out, and focused more on the Row.
Yeah, the conflict of the Row and that new group of the Fae racists that were trying to kill them.
They could have went a little more into the Black Ravens.
Yeah, and made it about them. Like both the radical groups on each side are wrong.
Right. So. For some reason, they wanted that, and it was like a weird storyline too. It was only like 4 episodes, but it still took away from
everything else.
You're right,
because it was trying to pull in too many different directions. They were trying to do too many things all at once, so they could tell like a bigger story. When they could have just piecemealed little bits and pieces and left that sitting in the back of your mind for a while, and then reveal it as they went.
Right, and they could have just like they could have been like, oh, the Row could have heard like, oh, we heard this new faction called the New Dawn, or you just hear little tidbits about it.
They should have used the Imogen and that to be like the last 2 episodes and go into that and how they became affiliated with the New Dawn.
Yeah, they just could have spoon fed.
I think a lot of the problem with some of these like fantasy realms is they pick and choose from history what happens and then they mix it wrong.
That is also true. There was
where it ends up not making sense because the politics don't make sense.
There was some weird political stuff like the son of the chancellor.
So here's what the New Dawn is. The New Dawn was a lady who was in charge of this revolution where they call them critches. So they're like the fairies.
It's the racist term for fae folk.
Right. So
Critch.
They are now allowed to mingle with humans, and that whole New Dawn, that's what they believe in. There's no separation, so they overthrew their government, and that's what they're doing. Their thing is that they all work for each other. Everybody sleeps in the same houses.
Everything.
Like the French Revolution / Communist Revolution.
Yes,
that's why we're trying to figure out. Which communism we're trying to place.
Communism.
So, but she's in charge. So she tries to then
Stalinism.
Kind of, yeah. She's saying
she doesn't murder everybody.
She does murder a lot of people.
She murders
a lot.
Well, she murdered a lot of the rich people.
Well, that's what happened in the beginning of it. And then Stalin took over and he murdered everybody who opposed him.
Right.
That's exactly what
she murdered. She murdered all of the rich people.
And started murking.
The only people she murks after that are the people who like fight against the cause.
Yeah, disagreed with her.
Right.
Because the one chick didn't even.
So it's not exactly.
So yeah, right. That's why I'm saying
Because
it's
the one chick wasn't even against her. She was just.
Stalin ended up starving.
She went against it because she was mad that he took her room.
Yeah, she was.
So she was fighting against the rules.
Yeah, but it wasn't even that big. She was more mad.
Yes. Do I think it's a stupid reason for her to get murked? Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. But she still got murked because she was fighting the rules.
Yeah.
So from then on, they get attacked by the Pact, which is
The other group.
the other army, and so then from there she goes back. She makes her way over to the other one, the Row, when she tries to cause a revolution in the Row, which
Because she's all about just causing chaos. That's all she wants to do is cause chaos.
But that's why I was trying to pinpoint which communist country I was trying to pinpoint because it's different from all of them in some way.
Yeah. So they go through that and they introduce her. Like it was so weird. The best part though was Atreus. Agreus. He went on like a little spy mission for the New Dawn because they showed up at the Row and started trying to like take over politically at the Row. So they sent him on a mission, and because they knew him and Imogene were starting to get cold feet about following their rules. So then they send him with a message. They hang him up. They break off his horn.
They beat him. They break his one horn off, and they send it back.
They mail it back to her. So they can force her to do what they want.
And then he fights his way out.
Oh yeah,
and I finally got to see some ram headbutts.
Yeah, he goat headbutted a dude. He took his hoof and
all I was begging for the last 2 seasons was to see Ram just start headbutting somebody.
One of the sailors headbutt
He finally
somebody.
did it in the last episode.
He killed a lot of people.
He mule kicked one.
Broke its leg. Remember, snapped his leg in half.
Those horns are ridiculous looking.
Yeah. And
those are ridiculous.
Yeah, I just wanted to see him headbutt somebody, man. Finally got it in the last episode.
So they went into like I said, they went to a big, different bunch of parties, and it was very pulling all over the thing. They introduced the Scarus. The Scarus, which
I think it's Scarus.
Yeah.
Well,
it's Scarus.
Yeah,
season 2 had a different showrunner than the first season. So.
Did it? Okay, that might be why it's so dramatically different.
Then
the Scarus was awesome.
The Scarus was awesome.
It was a awesome creature design.
So picture like the old school skull tattoos.
Yeah.
Picture that skull with like a white skin on it, and then a
Sparus.
like a 9-foot bat.
It was called a Sparus. It was SP
with teeth all down its chest. That's pretty much what it was.
Yeah. So there we go.
And they can take the form of a human.
They shapeshift, yeah.
They shapeshift into a human. But they can't change their gender. So like if it's a male Sparus, it changes into a human male. It just can't take whatever form it wants.
And it's just awesome looking. And it's got like extra mouths all over its body, and it hugs you to death and eats you.
Yeah, if it hugs you, it has all its teeth in its chest, just chew you up like a grinder.
It's awesome.
But yeah, the Sparus was the best part of the show.
Yeah. Werewolf guy didn't get enough screen time, in my opinion.
I agree with you. I believe that he didn't get his due.
His dues. He wasn't. He got some good stuff in.
Merrick, right?
Yes,
Merrick.
You know who got the most character development on all this?
The other picks.
No. I was gonna say the cop.
Oh yeah,
he had the actual character development.
He
was a critch racist, and then he just slowly over time realized he was a critch racist for all the wrong reasons, and he was going to eventually do better because he was saved by a critch.
I was gonna say Tourmaline.
She actually had
a lot of character development in the second season.
I mean, she didn't really change too much from the first season, though. She's like, I'm still in love with Viv.
Yeah, but you just seen more of her.
Yeah, she was more developed as a person.
Yeah, right.
And then she's like, you know what? I'm just going to use these evil powers for the best of my ability. Yeah, they're still evil, but, if I'm using them for the right reasons, it's a little
Why
less
are they evil?
It was dark magic.
It's dark magic. She can.
What do you mean dark magic? Is it dark because is dark colored, or is it dark because she has to sacrifice something?
She has to sacrifice a bunch of stuff. She has to keep dipping her hands in blood and stuff. She has to cut open cats.
She has to reach into the
guts and be able to tell the future and look into.
Animals aren't that bad.
Yeah,
and people. She does do.
Yeah, she did do it with 1 or 2 people.
Well, if they're already bad people.
No, I agree with you, but that's why it's dark magic.
But so that was fun.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, no, I know.
I'm just asking.
The people that got the worst character development were the two main characters, Viv and Philo.
Philo got the worst. Philo got the worst character development.
Philo got it together near the end. Like he was like, "All right, I get it."
Yeah, but like we said, through the whole, what is there, 9 episodes?
Yes.
The first 8 episodes, he's the same.
He's just bouncing back.
Yeah,
and forth.
right.
I
And
don't
finally,
know.
in the last episode, he
figures it out.
and that's the last 5 minutes of the show.
Are there any characters look? In most shows, you need at least 1 or 2 characters who are consistent. Are there any characters who are consistent?
Yeah, Philo and Tourmaline.
Well, then that's fine.
Philo
They're
and Vignette.
consistently the inconsistent characters.
Well, to me, I don't really mind if they have like an inspector who's gruff and does his job.
Yeah, there's one of those too. Yeah,
Yeah, and he was like a super racist, and as this started carrying on more and more, he realized he's like,
he's an idiot.
yeah, he's like, maybe I shouldn't be as racist because I was saved by a critch, and it's not every critch is bad.
Do you actually say those words?
More or less.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, did they show or not? Did they tell?
They showed his change.
They show it.
Like, because it went from
Because sometimes they have those weird monologues
where they talk about it. No. Because the first 3 episodes, he was very much.
His heart didn't grow 3 times that day.
Yeah. He didn't talk about it.
a monologue about why you have to think about this.
No, the first 3 episodes, he was very much a
Or he
critch.
cries in front of a critch or some stuff
No,
like that.
no.
The first 3 episodes, he was still very much the cringe racist. And then Philo and another dude saved him and saved his family. And he started like cutting breaks to Philo. But as he continued to do that, he kind of started to see the better of things. He never actually goes out and says it, but
in the end, when everything's better, he's the main person walking around.
he's the main
in,
detective
like,
now. He's like the main
yeah,
inspector.
right. And he's like hanging with the people in the row and stuff. So
Yeah, they have more respect for him now. And,
right. Like I said, I liked it. It would have been better without the whole New Dawn episodes.
And the weird.
I mean, let's be honest. They could have found it.
And the Chancellor plot point that made no sense at the very beginning.
They could have found a different way to
kill
her brother.
Yeah, her little brother, his little brother, who was the Chancellor at the time, weirdly going back and forth. He's like, "Oh, I'm not racist," but then she's just like, "You should kill Critch and be awful for no reason."
Which was weird to me because
her party's supposed to be the ones that advocate for generosity and helping the Critch.
And her best friend was a Critch.
Yeah. And that storyline,
and she just disappeared.
Yeah,
they never brought her up.
There was like a weird storyline, like where the main character lady, that main evil lady, was like working a plan out with
evil. She was working both sides to get her way.
She was like
trying to save the row, but she was working both sides, and they figured her out. And so through the whole time, you find out that her best friend is a Critch. Mm-hmm. So her brother, who is the Chancellor, sentences her to death.
Her brother / boyfriend.
Right. Yeah. It's very weird.
Because they're half
siblings.
They're half siblings.
That doesn't make it any better.
No.
Well, it's the 1900s, so 1800s.
So anyways, that still doesn't make it any better.
I know.
So anyways, he sentences
just what they did.
He sentences her to death.
What is this? Habsburgs?
And when they arrest her, her Critch friend is with her. And that's it. You don't see her again. Never again in the show.
No, remember the Critch friend wasn't with her. It was when she was walking up into the Senate after she got done talking to her Critch friend,
right,
and they convinced her that she might have gotten sick from the Critch sickness.
Yeah, you're right.
And then they tricked her.
Yeah.
And they just never mentioned again. That chick just disappeared.
Just disappeared.
She just vanished, and she seemed like she was really manipulative.
She did.
So yeah. So the Carnival Row. So we have 2 minutes left. We're 2 episodes in on Mandalorian. It's Mandalorian. Grogu's there.
Yeah, Grogu's there. It's just
this is the way. It's not bad though. It's just nothing revolutionary.
Well, now it's the 2nd season. Grogu's not the center of it. Grogu's extraneous.
No, he's still there.
I know I mean, he's not necessary. Does he actually even mean anything anymore?
Yeah, he does things.
He does things. Yeah.
He actually does things now.
Well, who cares?
I do.
And look, if they shoot enough freaking laser bolts at him, he'll die real easy.
Yeah, good thing he never fights that many. So we're gonna get more into Mandalorian next time. We're gonna call it a show.
All right. See you later.
Have a good night.
Bye.